All right, Maria, you work with people all over the world, right? You have clients, also we have employees, we have freelancers, whoever it might be. What is one thing that you can do, right? How do you manage the relationship? How do you make sure that they're getting you what you want? What tip can you give to folks? A lot of inbound marketers, a lot of people are working with remote staff, freelancers. That's like your first step. What do you recommend?
The most important thing I would say is making sure you're on the same page, that you both have the same vision, that you both understand what the project is about, because you can't get a good product if they only know a little chunk of what they're supposed to be doing or how their work is going to impact the rest of what you're doing. So it's really important that yes, they might be just writing some content, an ebook or email sequence, but if they don't understand the full picture of what it's supposed to do, who it's going to impact, the goal of the actual campaign, of the content, it's really not going to work out well. So I think it's really important to make sure your freelancers or partners, whoever's working with you, even different teammates.
Even your employees,
exactly.
But remote.
Right, even employees or different departments even.
Right.
Make sure that they all understand what the big picture is in order for everything to actually work well when it comes together.
So let me ask you this. How do you do that? What's the best way to get on the same page, right? What do you do?
Sure, so obviously...
Is it stand-up calls? Is it
Of course, you got to have meetings, make sure that people are able to ask questions, because sometimes, when you're working with remote or, freelancers, you're not on the same schedules, there's things that you have to deal with, but make sure that there's a time to actually discuss the project and that they're able to ask questions and you're able to answer things. Make sure that you give them, again, kind of a process of what you expect at the end of the day, what things should look like. And that should really help in making sure that they know what they're doing and then they're going to give you the product that you're expecting out of them.
So sharing the campaign brief and then having some sort of a way to get feedback and answering questions. Maybe it's a stand-up meeting, maybe it's a Slack channel, maybe it's
right. You can't expect them to just read something, a task, an email, however you usually work with them, and just expect them to know exactly what you're asking for. So it's always important to make sure that they capture that information, have the details, but be able to ask questions to make sure that they have that understanding that you're hoping that they
Right,
do.
this challenge isn't going to go away. People are becoming more and more about work from home, work-life balance, being anywhere, digital nomad, right? Freelancers, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be an ongoing issue. So you got to get around that issue and figure out how that can, you can have a smooth
Right, and it's really about opening the lines of communication, because if you do that, it doesn't matter who you work with, they'll be able to ask you questions, be able to get feedback, and you'll be on the same page. But you can't expect to be closed off and send work away and then make sure it comes back on its own by
So most challenging when you're in different time zones. It's your daytime and it's somebody else's afternoon, and right.
Right.
So absolutely, I get it. Thank you for your insight.